there's no way to do it on a direct level. Except, the only exception to that rule is if you have children who are still very young and very influenceable, there's still time for you to be able to bring them up with that. But I'll come back to that at the end because that's the easy piece. Let's talk about older children already set in their ways, spouses, family members, friends. Anything that we try to bring to them, ranging from the importance of quitting smoking, to quitting drinking, to maybe losing some weight, to maybe taking up some exercise, to maybe becoming a vegetarian, to starting to live a spiritual life. The whole spectrum of things that we think are important for a healthy life are pretty much things that no one wants to hear. Everyone knows smoking is bad, drinking too much is bad, exercise is good, meditation is good, spirituality is a worthwhile goal. We all know that. You'd have to really search for someone who had managed to keep themselves in a tightly sealed enough box not to know that this was a good thing. And so if it's not something they're living, what you have to realize is there's some block that they're having to that. And that's a block only they can remove. And many of us make the mistake, fully well-intentioned, of thinking that by sharing, convincing them, that we're somehow doing them a good service. Yeah, we're not. What we have to do is have faith in the power of the truth itself to draw people into it. A beautifully fragrant garden doesn't have to hang up a sign that says, "Smell me." When the sun comes out and shines after winter or after it's been raining, you don't need to run scrolls on your commercials that say, "The sun is out, be sure to go out and get some fresh air." People automatically, "Oh God, the sun, let's go outside." People automatically gravitate toward it. That which is truth, that which is fundamentally, I'm trying to avoid the word good, that which is fundamentally part of the nature of who we are, is a magnet. Like the fragrance of a garden, like the rains of the sun, like water when we're thirsty. You don't need a post-it note that says, remember to drink water after I finish the 10K race. We finished the race, we're thirsty, we need water. Nobody has to remind us, nobody has to urge us. We want water, our body's craving water. In the same way, all of us inside are craving that which the spiritual path can give us. We're looking for it in 100 wrong places. We're going about it in 100 wrong ways. But what we're craving is that which the spiritual path gives us. So you don't need to become a spokesman or an advertisement or a commercial for it. All that does is it actually ends up pushing people away. The best way to do it is just live it yourself. You will become a magnet. people will gravitate toward it. As you change, your interaction with people will change. If you and I are each holding the end of a rope and we're each pulling, I've got two choices. I can either shout at you, loosen your grip, it's going to kill you, you're, stressing yourself. Or I can simply loosen my grip. And if I loosen my grip, suddenly there's a lot of slack on your end. Suddenly the rope has gone from being very taut to being very loose. And automatically your grip is going to loosen. You only have to hold really tightly because I'm holding really tightly. And if you don't hold on, I'm going to yank it out of your hands. If I loosen it from my side, you'll automatically loosen it. And in our relationships with people, rather than continuing to hold on and shout at them, loosen your grip, the most effective thing we can do is change ourselves. And when we do that, it isn't necessarily going to be automatic. It's taken a long time to build habits and patterns. We've gotten very ingrained in them. We've got a lot invested in them. It may not happen right away, but it will happen. Because you can't hold tautly to a rope that someone's let go of the other end for very long. It's only going to be a matter of time before the other person will automatically change. And they'll automatically adjust and shift in that spiritual direction. Now, an important last point though is their spiritual embodiment, the way that they bring it into their lives, the way that a spiritual path manifests for them, even though it may have come through your catalyst, you've instigated this in their lives, you've served as the magnet for them, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to look the same way as yours does. And just because for us the practice of a particular type of meditation or kirtan or yoga or this prayer or this particular teacher works for us doesn't mean it's going to work for someone else. All that matters in the path of spirituality is what we were talking about last night, is that we reattach ourselves to that which is eternal and infinite and unchanging, rather than that which is temporal and material. But we may all be reattaching ourselves to a different part of the divine. And so we spoke earlier today about judgment. We have to be really careful not to box up spirituality for our family, for our loved ones, based on what it means to us. We may get up in the morning and sit for an hour of meditation. Our partner may be a doctor, and perhaps performing surgery is his or her form of meditation. And that's the time when they feel the closest to God. We have to be sure not to sit in judgment of that and to say, well, it worked for me in this way, therefore that's the way that it's going to work for you. When you create the space, it's going to come. And that's not just true in our own lives, that's true in our relationships, because we're not separate. If you and I are holding this rope together, you and I are linked. And if I create space in my life, it's going to automatically create space in yours. And then the universe will take care of the rest.